Hey guys, Skittlerampage here. Welcome back to a new video. I do hope you're enjoying your day today. So, in the last 2-3 weeks, some big changes have taken place over at Funko. And in today's video, we're going to be going over two of those big changes, which did include some price updates of things getting cheaper, as well as Funko actually had a CEO change just in the last 2 days. Now, before we jump into our topics, we do have our question of the day, which is, how are you guys feeling about Funko just currently, whether you've been collecting for a few years, like me, I'm going into 8 years of collecting, or maybe you've been collecting, for 10 plus years, or maybe you just started. I am overall curious what everybody's kind of state of mind is about the company, all the changes they've made, price increases, price decreases, new stickers, and all that. Let me know your thoughts and opinions, how you feel about Funko right now. Okay, so first things first, I want to go over Funko's CEO change just recently. So let's read from one of these articles here. So this does say, Funko CEO exits after a little over a year. And I was like, yeah, it feels like she literally just got there and then they're already switching her out. I don't even know if like 13 or so months was enough to kind of undo all the damage that is over at Funko, but I guess they disagree. Now, the article reads, in an abrupt turn in leadership, Funko CEO Cynthia Williams exited her role on Saturday. Williams joined the company in May 2024 from Hasbro, where she was the president of Wizards of the Coast and the gaming there. And I believe she was kind of like overseeing like Magic the Gathering as well in the past, and a lot of people had issues with her choices on that. So that kind of led to people thinking with Funko that she was going to do a million restocks, reprints, and all that, or something like that. I remember hearing something about that in the past there when she was first appointed. Anyways, though, Funko appointed Michael Lunsford as interim CEO effective the same day of Williams' departure, according to a press release. I believe we have yet to achieve the full potential of Funko, Lunsford said in a statement. I don't know. We'll go over that in a second. The decision was made by the board of directors, a company spokesperson said in an email to Retail Dive. The board determined that the company needs a new leadership to accelerate growth, the spokesperson said. Lunsford was previously Funko's interim chief between 2023 and 2024, following then CEO Brian Mariotti taking a leave of absence and subsequently stepping down from the chief executive position. So basically, to sum it up, the board of directors didn't feel like she was doing a good enough job, kind of like, dwindling their debt, making them more profit. So she's out, someone else is taking over currently until they find somebody to permanently fill that position, whether Michael, permanently fills it or, they end up finding someone else. I do feel like Funko has just been going through CEOs like candy, like just left and right. They're constantly getting a new one. Brian was out, then Brian was back, then, Cynthia's in here, then we had that other guy, I think it was his name Andrew or something like that. And I know this happens a lot with a lot of different companies, so it's not necessarily anything new per se. It just feels like it's been a lot with Funko lately, maybe because we're paying attention to the company more right now. But yeah, it's definitely pretty crazy for sure. I wouldn't say all of her decisions were really bad in the last 13 months. Like, there's definitely some I didn't like, where like the new stickers don't really make a lot of sense. It makes sense cost effective kind of, and making things logistically a little easier, but the authentication thing was kind of pointless because when you scan it, it doesn't tell you exactly what the product is. So while the sticker idea in theory was really cool, I just feel like it was an unfinished product. It just didn't really make a lot of sense the direction they took it in. Plus, you got to consider the fact that majority of people really do not like this sticker. I understand there's a lot of people who don't care about stickers, or a lot of people like the updated version of sticker, and even overseas people are like, hey, we finally have the same sticker, so they're glad they don't have to sticker chase. But at the same time, like I said, majority of people hate this new sticker. And hate feels like a strong word, but that's all I see. I see hate comments about these new stickers all the time. And then when it ruins, new sets like this, where we have these Admiral Pops, for example, from GameStop. You have two with the GameStop sticker, and then the other one with this new exclusive Funko sticker that just ruins those collections. Same with the Pokemon Center exclusives. You have all of these releases in the past, and then bam, going forward, you have the new ones with this new blue sticker, and it just messes up the whole aesthetic. Now, something else that kind of happened under her leadership that I didn't necessarily like was the whole Pop Plus premium and all that. The sizes and the prices that they had them at just didn't make any sense. Here's a good example of 3 Pops that are considered Pop Plus in the same category. We have Boa with the snake around her, as well as Haku going through the ice mirror, and then Jade, who just looks like a simple Pop but is painted metallic. And there's no way that metallic paint would cost as much as these other molds to produce with all that extra detail. So you see where it's just kind of weird and how they're labeling things Pop Plus that doesn't even make any sense. And then you have Pop Premium, for example, and here's a good example of Tristan, aka Top Pops, in one of his videos recently where he picked up the new premium Godzilla Pops. You have the pink one, the blue one, and then you have the other one with the atomic breath coming out. And it's like, how are the other two considered a Pop Premium and then that one in the past is not? Just because they have fancy colors, they're all the same size. So from the very beginning when they announced Pop Plus and Pop Premium, I've questioned it from the start because it just doesn't make any sense with these prices and the figures all not matching up. I think one other thing under her leadership that changed that I can think of is the whole Fun Day situation being multiple days and them having more ticket options and all that to where they could make more money, and you know, it was more cost effective having it at their Funko Hollywood store location versus renting out a space. But other than that, I can't really think of anything else major that changed in the last year under her specifically. I would say she kind of inherited a company that was performing very badly over the last few years due to all these changes and world events and all that. So I wouldn't say it's entirely her fault for trying to implement some new things, because her ideas in theory were really good. I just think they were executed very poorly. And based off all the events I've actually seen Cynthia at, I think she's been really cool to the community and kind of engaging with people. I've seen a lot of Funko fans say that she's really great to talk to and she's really sweet and nice, and you know, she's willing to have a conversation and all that. I've seen her interactions with some of the other like Funko influencers and all that, and they've all seemed relatively positive. But personally, I never got the chance to meet her, so this is just something I've been observing. So from an outsider perspective, my opinion on it is that she seemed like she really meant well and really wanted to take things far with Funko and kind of like turn things around, and it just didn't go her way, unfortunately. Of course, though, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know everything about running a big company like Funko. There's a lot of gears turning in a company like that. One decision can affect a lot of different things. I think she meant well. Again, I think things were executed very poorly. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on the whole CEO thing. Did you like some of the changes that she did implement while she was there? I would love to hear your thoughts. Alrighty, so now let's go to move on to some pricing updates here. So I'm actually going to be sharing over these glams and graphics and sheets over from Scarlet Joker. So thank you so much to them. Appreciate them putting this together for us to make it a little easier. So this first page here features exclusive Pop Plus. We did have the original prices at $18 and the new price is $15, matching commons now. So I don't really understand the Pop Plus category now, if they are the exact same price as commons. Maybe commons will eventually go down again, no idea. Pop Premiums like Toothless, for example, original price was $25, now they're $20. And then Pop Super and Rides were $30 and now they're $25. Next page here we have Pop Deluxe, original price was $35, new is $30. Then we have Pop Jumbo, original $45, new $40. And then Pop Moments and Ride Super Deluxe, original price were $40, down to $30, a $10 drop, which is actually pretty great. For exclusive Pop covers, the original price was $30 and the new price is $25. And our final page here features commons and regular exclusives. So commons were originally $12 everywhere, and their new updated prices are now $15. So they're basically the same as exclusives, which is kind of weird. I'm not really sure how that works, why exclusives wouldn't be a little bit more as usual, but hey, I'm not going to complain there, I guess. Now here's one more visual guide for you guys of a chart of all the prices, old and new, if you wanted to pause here and kind of go through this. I would say the pricing update is actually pretty good overall, other than maybe commons and kind of like the Pop Plus. I kind of feel like the Pop Plus category doesn't make any sense to have anymore if they're going to be the same price as commons. And arguably, there's still more money to produce because you put a new design on the box and they have a little bit more detail. And that was the original argument that, you know, if you add a glow feature or a metallic feature or this extra detail on the box, it costs more to produce. So how are they the same price now, you know? I think the biggest argument I've been seeing about the pricing update is the fact that commons are now $15, which I'm kind of inclined to agree, because how can Pop Plus and commons be $15 again, to reiterate that point? And at the same time, as a lot of people are mentioning, commons were barely selling at $12. They have a lot of stuff sitting in stock and they're just not selling as they used to. And then now you're upping the price $3 more per unit. So it's definitely pretty interesting. I can definitely deal with commons being $15 as long as the molds are really good. So one more thing I wanted to discuss really quickly is that, you know, everybody's kind of on the train of, oh, Funko's dying again. Funko's done this time. This is it for Funko. New CEO, oh my gosh. To hopefully clear things up, no, Funko is not dying. I would say the best possible outcome is that they get bought up by another company eventually, if they continue down the path they are and they don't climb their way out of the debt. But they have been doing a decent job at that. Not a crazy good job, because we're still getting all these repaints and all these weird random lines that just are not necessary. I understand Funko's supposed to be like a fan for everything, but some things just should not be made because some things just do not make money. But to reiterate my point earlier, no, I don't think Funko is dying. It's just a very, very long transitioning period as they climb their way out of all of their bad decisions. I would argue molds and exclusives and all that have actually been getting better, but only time will tell as we do go on. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on all of these big changes. Are you guys for these changes? Are you against these changes? I would love to know what you think about Funko right now. Well guys, that pretty much wraps up today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button down below if you did enjoy, and subscribe and click that notification bell if you're new here. I do want to end off the video by saying a big shout out to all the awesome Patreon supporters of the channel. You guys are amazing for supporting myself and the channel. If you guys are interested and want to check out the Patreon, the link is down below. We have a Patreon and Discord where we share a lot of information, news, restocks, updates, links, and more. And finally, make sure to follow me on all my social medias at Skittlerampage over on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and my Facebook page, so you can stay up to date. All right, love you guys. See you guys in the next one. See you guys later. Bye.